Clavicular. He's considered the king of the online, not red pill movement, but manosphere movement right now. He's kind of the lead popularizer of the practice known as looksmaxxing, which is essentially a lifestyle in which somebody focuses their all on improving their physical appearance, judging on what is considered an objective scale of attractiveness that more or less just believes if you've got a nice, strong jawline and, you know, your brow protrudes, and I won't lie, I'm not even that mad about this looksmaxxing thing, because when I mew, I kind of match the profile not too far off. Not too bad. Not too bad. I like the mewing. It's a good meme. And honestly, Clavicular, of all the figures that have been popular in the manosphere in the past, he's probably the least problematic one of all of them. As far as I'm aware, I don't think he's had any, like, serious, like, rape allegations, which immediately puts him ahead of everybody else in his, you know, sort of ballpark. Think like your Andrew Tates and whatnot. But he also doesn't really go on these long rants trying to psychoanalyze women or claim that they're, like, inferior to men or anything like that. At least from what I've seen. And I've watched some of his appearances and things. He's not really like, oh, men and women, I'm, you know, fighting the culture war between the two. He almost operates on this vibe that, like, it's all a foregone conclusion. You need to be attractive if you want women to like you. So no more arguing about whether or not that's true. Here's how you get more attractive. And it goes to extremes. You know, he's known for using a hammer to essentially build up scar tissue on the surface of the bones on his, like, cheek bones. Apparently this is a thing that you can do. He might be right about there being science that backs this up, but I would be very careful before I indulge in this process. But he calls it his bone smashing hammer, where he has a hammer that he hits his cheekbones with, and it builds up, like, scar tissue that causes the cheekbones to kind of pop a bit more, which is, of course, seen as a way to looksmax. And, of course, the more extreme of these guys, let's say they're not tall enough or they don't think they're tall enough, they'll break their bones, actually, though. Like, go through bone-breaking procedures to elongate their legs and spine just to get a few inches of height, or a couple inches of height, additional to what they were born with, or always going to have, you know? It's a community that leans from people who are genuinely probably in an arc of improvement from going from, like, watching Andrew Tate and Sneeko to now watching Clavicular and learning, you know, working out and focusing on making themselves look better and taking care of their hygiene. Like, for a lot of the dudes who are interested in Clavicular, it really does seem like they're ex-red pillars, or still red pillars, who are perhaps finding a weird way out of it. I know that sounds crazy from me, but trust me, that's not me defending Clavicular, because that dude is a weird guy, to say the least. And I think most people have come to the conclusion he's also pretty autistic. Anyway, though, I'm joined here today by my friend Rince. What are your thoughts?
What's up? Yeah, I mean, you know, Clavicular, I've, like, my initial introduction to him was him kind of, like, trolling Michael Knowles, which I thought was pretty funny. But then kind of seeing how he orbits, like, you know, people like Andrew Tate, it's all really conflicting. I feel like the whole, I guess, like, you know, manosphere, like, internet bubble right now, the kind of right-wing bubble, I mean, let's just admit it, you know, you got people like Nick Fuentes in there. It's kind of right-wing inherently.
That's true.
It's all really weird. It's all like a bunch of, like, conflicts of interest, like, low-key. But
he's a racist,
you know, listen,
and wears a hat with the N-word on it. That's good to know. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Well,
sorry to interrupt.
Interesting. Interesting. Wow, I didn't know that. Well, okay then. Guess I know what I need to know now.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely not a good guy. He's not a good guy. We're not defending him here, and the reasons why we're gonna get into.
I'm defending him. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, hey yo.
No.
No, but honestly, I do like the idea of what looksmaxxing is meant to be, almost. Like, it feels like something more positive and less toxic than just bed rotting, sitting, like, shrimped out at a desk and complaining about women all day. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
no,
actually, like focusing on self-improvement, because more often than not, these young men who fall for red pill shit, the second they have a real relationship, those ideas are going out the goddamn window. They the red pill nonsense is virgin food. It's virgin slop. You have to be a virgin for it to work on you. And so it feels like the looksmaxxing stuff is probably going to lead to a lot of these guys having their first real relationship and realizing, wow, these red pill guys don't know a damn thing about women. You know, like, and it's pretty hard not to have that opinion of them once you've been around women for any amount of time in your life. So,
yeah,
I don't know. I could see I could see looksmaxxing being a way out of the red pill, shockingly, just kind of naturally. But I've got a video here that I want to show you, Rince. As a Floridian, it puts a knife in my heart. It is a video from TMZ, or posted by TMZ, of Clavicular in the Everglades with a Glock. Do you know this video?
Boy. Oh boy, I think I actually do. I think I have heard about this. And I gotta say, Clavicular being anywhere near a firearm, I don't know why, but those two things I feel like just shouldn't be a thing.
They found a dead gator.
Yeah,
so they're just kind of unloading some rounds in it.
Just had to make sure.
The fuck did the dead gator do?
Yo! Yeah, I think it's dead.
So it was definitely dead already. It was definitely dead already. But
are you sure?
What's so fucked up about this is that you're allowed to hunt alligators in Florida. If you're not aware, Florida and most of the American South have so many alligators that it is actively encouraged. You can go onto a lottery, and I don't even think it costs money to get your alligator hunting license. It might be like $20. It is not expensive to get your alligator hunting license because, for those that don't know, there are like 200,000 gators in Lake Okeechobee alone. Every body of water in Florida has alligators, a lot of them. They populate like crazy, and they are a danger to certain people and households, or not households, but like neighborhoods. You know, they go onto golf courses in like the neighborhoods of gated communities, and dogs will be walking, cats and dogs or kids will be walking around a lake, and then there's an alligator in there and something happens. You know, alligators, I'm not going to pretend like there's some endangered, like, oh my god, he killed an alligator. I love fried alligator tail, okay? I'm from Florida. When you go hunting for alligator, you basically do what he did there. You shoot it in the head, generally. But the unloading on it for no hunting purpose, and the fact that I'm pretty certain he wasn't licensed, I'm not 100% sure whether or not he's going to get in trouble or be fined from this. It really just depends on whether or not he had a license. But when people heard that he just got arrested a couple days ago, everyone was like, oh, it must have been for the shooting an alligator thing, right? Well, no, it turns out. Because apparently, the influencer Clavicular was arrested on a battery warrant in Fort Lauderdale. So let's read about this. A well-known influencer known as Clavicular has been arrested in Fort Lauderdale on a warrant for battery, jail records showed. Clavicular, whose real name is Brandon Eric Peters, was arrested by Fort Lauderdale police on Thursday. Broward Jail records showed. Of course they did. In a statement Friday, Fort Lauderdale police said the Osceola County Sheriff's Office requested their assistance in locating a subject with an active warrant for misdemeanor battery, and a short time later, police located and arrested Peters. An out-of-county hold was placed on Peters from Osceola County, the jail records said. Osceola County's Sheriff's Office officials said Peters and a woman identified as 24-year-old Violet Marie Lentz were accused of participating in the battery of a 19-year-old woman at a short-term rental home near Kissimmee, Florida. The 19-year-old was allegedly battered by Lentz in the home that was rented by Peters, and detectives determined Peters instigated the fight and posted it on social media to exploit the two women, the sheriff's office said. Neither Peters nor Lentz came out of the residence to speak to deputies about the incident when they arrived at the house to investigate, the sheriff's office said in a statement. Huh? Someone called the cops on them for assault and they refused to step out of the house? Did the cops force their way in? Because I'm pretty certain that's what they do, right? It's Braden, not Brandon. Oh, sorry. Look at me. Look at me with my my sick reading skills. I'm practically illiterate. The sheriff's office said in a statement, detectives from the Osceola Sheriff's Office completed their investigation after reviewing videos and talking with witnesses. Lentz was also arrested on a misdemeanor battery charge and booked in the Broward County Jail and Sheriff's Office, the Sheriff's Office said. Peters walked out of jail Friday evening and did not answer questions from reporters. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission is also investigating a separate incident in the Everglades that appears to involve Peters. That's right, the clip that we just saw. The Florida Fish and Wildlife, or Florida Wildlife Conservation, posted on X that it is aware of a video depicting individuals in the Everglades on an airboat who appear to be discharging firearms at an alligator. By the way, I don't believe you're allowed to hunt in the Everglades at all. I could be wrong, but I don't think you're allowed to go to the Everglades to hunt. Like, at least the national park part of it, I don't think you're allowed to hunt there. On the boat with Peters was Miami man Andrew Morales, also known as the Cuban Tarzan. NBC6 has interviewed Morales about his work with local wildlife, most recently frozen iguanas. He told NBC6 no comment when asked about the incident over the phone. The 20-year-old... So in reference to the frozen iguanas thing, I'm guessing that's in reference to the fact that Miami actually hit near freezing temperatures recently, and Miami has an infestation of iguanas. Like, seriously, look it up. They're everywhere. It's a big thing. Just shitloads of green iguanas. Invasive all over Miami. And they climb up to the top of the palm trees, and that's where they'll hide out to stay away from pets and people and, exterminators. But then when the cold hits, they freeze up like all reptiles do, and they fall out of the trees once it gets cold enough. So most of them will fall and die unless they land in grass. But it was like a whole thing where there were just thousands of iguanas laying on the ground. And, a lot of Florida-based influencers went to go see this, make videos about it. But it happens every couple decades in Miami. All the iguanas freeze and they fall out of the trees. It's pretty funny. Most recently, frozen iguanas. He told NBC no comment when asked about the incident over the phone. The 20-year-old Peters is an influencer and streamer who is known for looksmaxing content, which revolves around physical appearances and sometimes extreme methods used to appear more attractive. He has hundreds of thousands of online followers and has been featured in articles by the New York Times and the New Yorker. What are your thoughts on that, Rince? On his little stint in the county jail?
I'm not surprised. Honestly, I was expecting this to be a lot worse, considering the motherfucker. What did he do? Like a few months back, like run somebody over with his car or some shit. Like
he killed a guy. Yeah, he killed that dude.
Oh wait, he killed a guy. Oh
yeah,
shit.
He killed that guy. He killed that guy on live stream. Yeah.
Wait, how's he not in prison?
Because literally like a few months before, there was this big moral panic that conservatives managed to blow up, where protests were happening in Florida that blocked the road, and so Ron DeSantis decided to do like a big virtue signal to his fellow conservatives. So he made it legal to run over anybody, even if you kill them. If they're blocking the road intentionally, you're allowed to run them over and kill them. That's the law now in Florida. And a couple months later, Clavicular did that. So him intentionally running that guy over who was blocking his car and murdering him right then and there, he was let out the same night because the governor himself passed a law saying that's a situation where you're allowed to kill someone. And it was all on video, so...
Fucking crazy. Dude.
Yeah, all just because of a right-wing culture war Twitter post. The governor of Florida made it legal to run people down and kill them. It's crazy. But yeah, that's why Clavicular didn't get in trouble.
Fucking evil, man. I know we joke and like laugh about this shit, and don't get me wrong, I like joking about this shit and whatever, but man, y'all motherfuckers on the right are like cartoon villains. I'm not even joking. Like I was about dude, I remember seeing a meme a while back where it was like Republicans, like when Trump passes the "fuck you, I hope your family dies" bill, and they're like praising it. It's like, dude, if we see that in the next year or so, that'd be fucking hilarious. But yeah, no, this is like, yeah, I'm actually kind of proud of Clavicular. I'm proud of him. He didn't kill anybody this time. He only whooped their ass, probably.
He didn't kill anybody this time.
Yeah, that's not this time. So I'm proud of you. I think we need to give him a medal, actually, because, actually, I'd say he's too soy for Florida. He needs to get those numbers up. No, I'm kidding.
He is kind of soy for Florida, I'm not going to lie. Anyway, though, I will say, if you want to get an idea what this guy's about, a few days ago, or like a week ago maybe, he did an interview with Andrew Callahan of Channel 5 News. And this interview is hilarious. Now, fair warning, anytime this guy comes up, I feel the need to mention it because it is shocking how effectively this story was buried. But years ago, Andrew Callahan was accused by numerous women of SA and rape. And I was like, at the time, I interacted with it as I would any situation like that, where it's like, oh, maybe these allegations are true, maybe they're not, gotta look at all the details. And while I can't say too much, during the process of that whole thing, I was contacted by someone who had been a friend of mine for many years by that point, who told me that they had actually hung out with Andrew Callahan, that their experience very much matched the experience that was alleged by those other people who came forward. So not only does Andrew Callahan have several public allegations of rape and SA, the YouTuber who did this interview, the popular Channel 5 guy, but I know somebody who never even came public with allegations, who never even went public, has no reason to have lied to me, they didn't gain anything from it, hasn't come up in years at this point, it's just something that I know in my heart of hearts that Andrew Callahan did that shit, and he just got away with it. This is how I think a lot of actors in Hollywood must feel, by the way, like especially pre-Me Too, like when famous successful guy is a rapist or something, and it's like you just don't have the clout or pull to make any difference in calling it out. Like, who the fuck's gonna listen? And even if they did, they'll just say you're salty or jealous, That's got to be a lot of what, I think we're gonna have like a Me Too equivalent online, because it is insane how many popular YouTubers have gotten away with anything from rape to grooming to pedophilia, even in the online left. It's insane. Anyway, what thoughts on that, Prince? Did you hear about any of that stuff?
Yeah, no, that's you could hit the nail on the head. Yeah, a lot of weirdos get away with a lot of weird shit. And yeah, damn, that's crazy. I really forgot that whole Andrew Callahan thing. Because I knew Channel 5 sounded familiar, but I was like, wait, what? And then Andrew Callahan, I was like, Andrew Callahan. And then you start telling the story. I was like, oh, that motherfucker. Ah, hell nah.
Yeah, the Surfs recently brought that up. Honestly, I remember why I was mad at the Surfs, but over time I've gotten a little bit less salty about it. And as long as the Surfs is, I don't know, being chill, from what I've seen recently, he hasn't, delved into the tanky stuff, I don't think. Maybe I was too harsh. Maybe I judged him too harshly. Anyway.
Oh yeah, he storms out of this interview, by the way. Clavicular.
Yep. Yeah, I was gonna. Okay, so I wanted to show the opening of this interview so we could get an idea of what this dude's about, and then I wanted to show chat the end of this interview, how it ends. Because,
I wasn't sure if you knew that. That's why I told you. I was like, oh yeah, by the way, this is a big thing I've been hearing about.
Yeah, because at the end, the ending is really funny. Obviously, not a big fan of Andrew Callahan for obvious reasons, but I do want to show this clip because it's very funny in terms of Clavicular, who we are talking about.
He got soul-mogged.
Wasn't the Surfs drama because they sided with someone that was attacking you? No. So the Surfs drama happened, nothing to do with anyone attacking me. I wasn't really involved. The only person who attacked me was the Surfs. So what ended up happening, you guys might remember this, but a popular YouTuber named Illuminati got super canceled because she was landlord to a couple of other YouTubers and her editor, and was extorting them for a shitload of money and stuff, and was it was an insane fucking thing, right? And the Surfs was friends with Illuminati and was defending her on his stream, and made a video calling her victims attention-seeking weirdos or something like that. I forget exactly what it was, but it was very much an insult meant to kind of divert attention away from their allegations that were now going massively viral. It was the click and whatnot. And so she was going super viral for what she was getting exposed for, and the Surfs was covering for her, and I called him out for that, for covering for her, and the Surfs deleted his video. Because by this point, by the time I uploaded my video, the Illuminati story was going giga-viral, way bigger than anyone thought it would go, and he realized that he was having a very unpopular take in that video. So he took the video down. around, like, a little after my video goes up, and then he makes a response video to my video pretending like I was calling him out for nothing. And because most of his viewers, convinced that I'm just an asshole, wouldn't go and watch my video and see the reason I was calling him out was because of who he was defending, and the fact that he had to delete his video because his audience would not have been happy within context of just a couple days later knowing that he had defended her. And so it was basically like he attacked me to cover up what I called him out for, which was defending Illuminati and attacking her victims, which I thought was pretty shitty. Anyway, let's take a look at this clavicular stuff, shall we?
Yes.
The word incel has been largely misused, so let's clarify what that actually is.
So you think that even if someone had every word of the Neil Strauss book, The Game, memorized, and they were like super busted, they could approach a Stacy and get totally
Blood hard, like brutalized almost. Like women are brutal as fuck these days. I was talking about this on my stream the other day. Say you were to do like a bowling date with a girl and you weren't streaming it, like that's just the most ridiculous.
Well, what about like connecting with her because like you like her or something like that? You know, like maybe you want to start a family.
But where's the ROI in that?
What's that?
Return on investment. What's the value there?
Engaging with people in real life.
Dude, I love how, like, without even trying,
Talking like women
you
are
kind
a
of,
Robin Hood profile.
you kind of parodied this vibe without even trying sometimes. Not that it's you, but like your sense of humor is basically has been for like a year that I've known you. Basically, like, ironically, joking that you're like Clavicular before he even became popular. The idea of like, oh, going on a date. What's the ROI on
Clavicular.
that?
Yeah, literally, Clavicular copied me. He duped me. Okay.
He duped you.
What is he, like 19? This motherfucker's like my age.
No, dude,
He's such a
Clavicular.
chud. He fucking copied me.
Do you want to hear something that made me want to fucking puke? Clavicular was born in 2005. Made me want to fucking puke, bro. I feel like a goddamn boomer.
I was born in 07, so, you know, can't relate.
Oh god, man.
Can't relate.
God damn. You fucking zoomers, you goddamn
Yep.
little chud young
Well, you know
fetuses.
Yeah, well, what's the ROI on being born in the 90s or whenever the fuck you were born, dinosaur? What's the ROI on that, buddy? Huh?
Not great, but if the ROI if I was born 10 years earlier would have been pretty good, because you know I'd have been able to get a little bit. If I was born even like 3 years earlier, I would have been able to do like the first 3 years of my employment in an Obama era economy, which would have been a nice boost. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like people forget or don't even acknowledge how much of a boost you got if you, depending on how many years of Obama era economy you got to like enter the workforce into, or if you entered it into a Trump era economy, or post Trump era economy, because that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to it.
Yeah, I mean, there's really not that many people that are worth interacting with, I would say.
What do you mean?
Like, most people are extremely jester. If you want to be completely disingenuous, that's fine with me. I guess there's just no point to continue.
Shit,
All
he
right.
low-key is like...
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is
see what
Braden
you mean
Peters,
now.
not online.
He's like
Nah, I see what you mean.
I'm so scared
me if I
he's gonna
wasn't
be the
joking.
archetype of like the next batch of Gen Z dudes are gonna be an archetype of clavicular, and you're gonna have to deal with dudes who are all LARPing, being autistic. It's gonna be rough. Because Clavicular's
Zan,
just
stop being
autistic.
jester.
He's just autistic. We all know this, right? He's just autistic. That's where his riz comes from. And all of his male audience are just going to try to skinwalk him. That is to say, copy him, word like bit for bit, bar for bar. And they're basically all just going to LARP being autistic to try and get pussy. And if it works, then
Zan,
I guess I can't
are you
knock
really
it.
against us autists getting pussy? Like, finally, we're getting some play.
well, they're
Like,
LARPing
10
though.
years
They're
ago-
they're neurotypicals LARPing as autistic to get pussy.
Okay, but still, even if it's fake
They're
branding, it's
appropriating
still
our
branding.
culture.
We need the... Dude, do you understand the ROI us autists are getting off of these phonies? Like, just let him dupe, bro. Let him dupe. Let him be jester, dude. Dude, I'm stealing that. No, okay, guys.
Honestly, you
Me
should
and
just
Zan were
replace
talking about this
Clavicular.
the other night. Dude, me and Zan were talking about this the other night. My jawline is low-key stronger. But me and Zan were talking about this the other night. And I was telling him about, the clip I saw on Instagram where he was, like, Clavicular was using the word jester. Like, dude, it's so Jester. Like when he was like raging at a game, and I was like, Zan, I should start using that. And I every time I hear it, I'm like, I get like a health bar in my head, right? And it goes up by like 5% every time he uses it. And I'm like, man, I should start using that. I should.
Hold on, we've got a listening comprehension devil victim in chat. Hold on. Autistic people aren't horrid. Stop. I hate this lingo. None of the things that are negative traits about Clavicular have anything to do with autism. What I'm pointing out is the fact that his hyperfixation, his special interest is looksmaxing. And you're going to notice across this interview that he's a very... I don't know how else to describe it than it's very obvious that he's just super duper hyperfixated on looksmaxing. He's super into it. He just likes talking about it. And is he a good guy? No, but that's separate from the fact that he's very hyperfixated on this looksmaxing thing, which is what he's known for. And I think that's relevant to consider, because people are going to be really confused on why he gives certain answers that he does. And when you know that, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. He's just here and he wants to talk about the shit that he's super into. You know, he just wants to yap. And fair enough.
He's kind of like me. Yeah, he's kind of like me for real.
He's like all of us deep down. We all just want to yap.
For sure.
Yeah,
exactly. A 20-year-old from Hoboken, New Jersey, currently living and trapping content out of a rented mansion in Fort Lauderdale, in Florida. The property has been converted to a 24/7...
Hey, is that his testosterone?
...mansion in Fort Lauderdale, in Florida.
Genio Test P100. So yeah, I'm guessing behind it he probably has some tren or something. You know what that is, right?
Crazy.
Those are steroids right there, Rince. Those are steroids right there. Not to mention expensive steroids, too. I have some buddies who are, like, deep into the workout scene, and they're not natty, and they've told me it is not cheap to be on your cycle. It's not cheap.
I heard that shit makes your nuts smaller, or some shit like that. Is that true?
Yeah, it definitely does make your nuts smaller, according to, like, every dude who's done it that I've heard has said it makes their nuts smaller. Not by a lot, but apparently it does make your nuts smaller. That's real.
Yeah.
It's not even a meme. But
that's terrifying.
What can I say? Isn't that like $1,000? Listen, it's not like prohibitively expensive if you've got like spending money, but it's not worth it. Like I would just rather eat healthy and work out for not free, but a lot cheaper than buying testosterone and tren. Anyway.
Florida. The property has been converted to a 24/7, fully staffed live streaming studio for Cloud's particular brand of content, which focuses on partying and also helping young men, particularly in Gen Alpha and early Gen Z, look sexy as fuck and ascend by...
Yeah, I don't like that he glorifies steroid use, especially for young men. I feel like if you're gonna get into steroids, you should do it when you're like 40 or 50, you know, like when you're basically at the end of your prime. That's when you get on steroids. That's when I'll get on steroids. I will get on steroids when I reach the end of my prime, like 40s, 50s, around that era. Yeah. Once like the testosterone starts to dip, you know, gets harder to like gain like muscle and work out. Yeah. But don't be doing steroids if you're like in your 20s or teens. Oh my god. This is Clavicular's 19. He is destroying his body. Zan, he microdoses meth. I heard that he does do a lot of drugs, but yeah. Like, do not take testosterone or tren or any steroid, especially if you're young.
Engaging in looksmaxing activities like facial surgery.
Oh, there's all his needles. All of his steroid needles.
And ascend by engaging in looksmaxing activities.
You can't reuse needles, so he's just got, like, a week's worth of injection needles there on the table. Oh, that's so fucking, like, that's so degenerate. Oh man, like these are the type of this is what the desk of half the people who shit on trans people look like, by the way. Like if they actually are like big like hunky chud type dudes who go to the gym a lot, they'll be like posting on their Twitter accounts about how trans people aren't real women or whatever. Meanwhile, this is how they achieve real manhood.
Yeah, isn't that gender affirming care? Like no, like deadass, is that not gender affirming care? That is
gender affirming care right there. This looks like Kurt Cobain if he was addicted to, not Botox, this isn't Botox, addicted to steroids instead of heroin. True.
activities like facial surgery, limb lengthening, Botox, peptide use, and steroid injection, all with the goal of raising their SMV, sexual market value, in a way that will lead to more ascension and life success. Across mainstream platforms,
wait, that's
he has
not
over 1 million
real.
followers
That's not
and over
real.
100.
Sexual
Wait, you don't know
market
about
value, that's not a
sexual
real
market
term.
value? You don't know about sexual market value? Okay, this is an OG phrase.
Wait,
This
the
goes
ROI
back.
thing wasn't a joke?
No, this goes back like over a decade, dog. So the sexual market value is basically your fate, like it's how you rate on a scale of attractiveness. There's like a mathematical ratio that determines that like women, if a woman is a 5, for instance, is like the incel logic. If a woman is a 5, then she can get with a guy all the way up to like dudes who are 9s, most likely, if she really wants to. But if you're like a guy who's an 8 or a 9, your options are still limited in the 5 and below area unless you're all the way at 10. They call this sexual market value, that like any woman on the scale is worth infinitely more than 90% of men on the scale. It's basically Doomer posting incel logic, but Clavicular's brand is we're going to increase your sexual market value. We're going to get you closer to that top 10% that has a chance with 90% of women. Because their whole thing is 90% of women will only give 10% of guys the time of day.
What in the fuck did I just listen to? Oh my god.
Sexual market value. It's OG incel logic. This shit goes back to like 2011 4chan, I want to say. Maybe further.
Man, me and Clavicular were, like, we were literally little chuds back then. Like...
These concepts are probably older than Clavicular, to be honest. Like, sexual market value probably goes back further than that.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
70,000 recurring viewers on the live streaming platform Kick. I don't want to spoil it too much though. Let's get into the interview. All right, thanks so much for making the time, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, sorry.
How's it going?
I
How
know
you
we're
doing, man?
getting started. How are you?
I'm good. So for those who don't know, can you tell us your name and kind of what you do?
I'm Clavicular. I do live streaming. I hop on a variety of podcasts to talk about sort of my philosophy on why looks are arguably one of the most important things in terms of your success in life.
And what do you mean by that?
Well, what I basically mean is every single
Was that Freddy from iCarly?
success in life.
And what do you mean by that?
Bruh.
I don't know why, but I thought this was Freddy from iCarly for some reason. I don't know why. I was trying to confirm.
Well, what I basically mean is every single trait of yours is going to be perceived differently according to your looks level, right? So if you're super caged in and shy, but you're good looking, that will be perceived a lot different rather than if you were, you know, an acne-ridden, balding jester and you stay inside all day, people will call you a recluse, they'll call you weird, whatever. So even though the actions are the complete same. So that's what I'm talking about here.
And what's the exact equation for measuring like aesthetic value?
So there's a lot of different ratios that go into it to calculate someone's overall facial harmony score. So for example, that could be the width of your eyes relative to the width of your cheekbones, would be your eye separation ratio, or your mid-face ratio, for example. And then you're gonna take all these measurements and calculate them into a final percentage harmony score.
And who has the highest score right now living?
I believe it's Matt Bummer.
What in particular about Matt's face gives him that high score?
It's not one particular thing because it's a calculation of a lot of different measurements.
Well, congrats on the big viewership and stuff like that.
Thank you.
It's kind of cool to see the mechanics of algorithmic takeover here.
I appreciate that.
I read less than a year ago you were a line cook.
That's right. Well, it was just one of my many roles at a restaurant I worked at.
What made you kind of want to jump into creating content?
One day we'll have an algorithmic takeover, right, guys? Right? We're gonna do that one day. You guys are gonna hit that like button like crazy on this video, right? Right, guys? Y'all already hit the like button, didn't you? I know you guys are goated. I know you did.
I had already
Don't worry,
been
Zan.
kind of
When that
posting
woman
my
What
LooksMaxxing.
was it? ROI? Yeah, when that woman
return
ROI
on
hits-
investment.
Yeah, return on investment. When I get my money back from all these women, from my return on investments with them, we'll get you a studio. We'll get you set up. We're gonna rent out a Xander Hall mansion in Florida. Actually, no. Fuck
We're
Florida.
gonna rent out a
North
Xander
Carolina.
Hall.
Yeah. Did you know that there are some towns you can buy? We gotta buy a town one day. We gotta do that.
Dude,
buy a town.
Zantown. Would you guys come to
Zantown.
visit Zantown, USA? If I bought a town?
I'll be the mayor.
I'd
We'll
make
have-
you Prime Minister. That'd be your title, Prime
yeah.
Minister. Because then you'd be on the
Oh,
same
yeah.
level as Netanyahu.
Yes, let's fucking go. Finally. Let's go. I could be like my idol. No, I'm kidding. I hate Netanyahu. That's a joke, guys.
All right, let's resume.
You know, routine and the protocols I was doing for a good amount of time on TikTok, not really taking it too seriously, and I was posting on online forums. So I was sort of like a well-known name in a really small, tight-knit community. And then I kind of took it a little bit more serious because people were asking me like, how do you do this? What was your experience like with this?
Dude, maybe Epstein Island will be for sale. Could you imagine how many views Mr. Beast would get if he bought Epstein Island and then like loaded it with the most TNT any landmass has ever been loaded with in history and just fucking blew it up on video?
That would be
just
cool.
Straight up
that would be cool.
Destroying Epstein Island. Just that'd be the video. I feel like it might be the most viewed video of all time if he just exploded Epstein Island and turned it into a crater in the ocean.
Man, I wish he would do that. Honestly, I wish he would.
I hope he does
The
that.
ROI on that would be hard.
The ROI would go crazy. He'd probably have to spend every penny he's ever made from all of his ventures, but he'd make all the money back, I'm sure.
You know, peptide, whatever. And it started to get a lot of traction very early on. So I just continued with it.
He's talking about steroids.
So going back to like the early days, you were born in 05, right?
That's right.
How would you describe your like childhood? Was it fun?
Pretty normal, I'd say.
Your social experience in school though, how was that?
I mean, what age range are we talking about?
I guess like right around 13, 14 is what I'm thinking.
Well, that would have been during the pandemic, so I was in online school.
Dude.
Oh yeah, he's right. Yeah, because I was, yeah.
Dude, how many of these kids got fucking destroyed by the pandemic? Because like I graduated, I want to say a year and a half before COVID started from high school. So like I got out like in the nick of time, you know? If I was born a year earlier, I would have had to do my senior year during COVID, or at least the latter half of it during COVID. So, yeah, it's, dude, I don't know what it would have been like to go to school in the pandemic, like having to do the, like what it was like, but I don't know, because I had a year or two where I did online schooling from home, and I don't feel like it fucked with me that much. Granted, I was still, you know, doing 2 hours a day of swim practice. So like maybe that was what was, you know, kind of making me still be normal. But like, dude, what is up with the Gen Zers who came of age in the COVID lockdowns being such weirdos?
I feel very offended listening to this, okay? You're treading on fucking thin ice, buddy. Oh my gosh.
Come on,
you're
no,
like just calling me out here, aren't you?
Listen,
like,
Rince, you gotta admit though, you were there, right? Your peers were weird, right? Like you saw it too? I'm not saying it applies to you.
Then, to be honest, but I mean, yeah, but also nah, not really. I don't know. It depends. Like on how it depends on how jester you choose to be about things. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Like you could just like social mog like a lot of people through that era, but also you could just be like jester and like basement max. You know what I mean? So
Hell yeah.
It just depends on how you approach it.
Me and my buddies have started saying shrimping out whenever we're like anytime we're spending large amounts of time at a computer. It's like, all right, looks like we're shrimping out tonight, in reference to like whenever you're like at a computer for long enough and you start to like hunch over, you start to get shrimp posture. So you're shrimping out.
Yeah.
I like it. It's a good one.
I think I might start using that with my friends.
Bro, we're gonna shrimp out tonight and just grind a video game.
Oh yeah, bro.
Posture check. Anyway.
Posture check. Posture.
I want to show how this interview ended because it was absolutely hysterical. I have to show the end of this interview. Okay, here we go.
But
here it is.
Yeah, not a single attempt at anything in regards to LooksMax.
Okay, what's a question I should ask?
Well, that's up to you. It's like,
you're
what am I going to tell you how to do your job?
You're telling me you want me to ask you about specific scientific questions about different LooksMaxxing methods.
Well, I mean,
And you're not happy with the question about the peptides or the bone smashing or anything like that?
I mean, like, can you not identify like anything that you have a curiosity about? Like maybe, you wake up with dark circles in your eyes one morning and like, even something like that. I mean, just like, even if you don't give a shit, I mean, like it would be like, at least, you put a little bit of effort.
How do you get rid of those, actually? I wake up with those every morning. No matter how much sleep I get, I've got circles under my eyes. They're just a permanent fixture. How do you get rid of those, actually? Tell me, Clav.
I think I've done a pretty good interview.
From what like context, because if it's from the context of what you guys reached out was your intention, then I would say that you've done a pretty shitty job.
All right, well, I think people probably want to learn about you, and that was what I was trying to give you the opportunity to do.
Well, no, I know. I think that's totally fair, and I applaud you for that. But not one, question about LooksMaxxing.
There's been so many questions about LooksMaxxing. I probably asked you about LooksMaxxing like 40 times. I just don't know the specific science. I'm not in the community.
Okay, well, I mean, like, if you were to ask about like something in regards to hair loss, like, there's really nothing.
Yeah, sure, hair loss.
You see what I mean?
Telling me you're trying to get
telling
me
you what to ask. So when you wake up every single morning and you take a look in the mirror, you're 100% satisfied with every single thing. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, more or less.
Okay, dude. All right, well.
Oh boy.
I guess that's just, if you want to be completely disingenuous, that's fine with me. I guess there's just no point to continue.
All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you. All right.
I will say, I would have liked if he actually engaged with that a little bit, because maybe Andrew Callahan is the most secure person in the world about his appearance, but I mean, you could think he'd be like, acne. Like, do you have any tips on clearing up acne or something, like, but yeah, it is pretty clown shit that Clavicular's like, oh, you have self-confidence, then we have nothing to talk about. But yeah, I mean, that's his whole brand, is like, oh yeah.
Yeah, no. I was gonna say, one of the comments was really funny. It's one of the top comments on the video. And basically, it was like Clavicular got soul-mogged by Andrew Callahan. And that is so real. Because, like, man, what the fuck is the point? Like, genuinely? And listen, I'm gonna be honest, all right? Not all of the looksmaxxing bullshit is bullshit. Like, there are some things, like, that are memes that are genuinely, like, will help your appearance. Like, example, lowering cortisol. Okay, this is something I've done personally. Like, I've literally restructured how I, like, think and allocate mental energy to certain things. And I've become less stressed. Basically, I've been optimizing my life recently to be, like, more productive, but also less stressful. You know what I mean? And that just means, like, setting more strict boundaries and, chilling more and, like, taking care of myself more. And unironically, my jawline and, like, my facial fat and, like, my face has looked better. You know what I mean? Like, it's looked a lot, like, more defined and toned. It already was defined and toned, but, lowering cortisol helps with that, right? So there are things in looksmaxxing that are genuinely, like, self-improvement. But, man, when you're somebody like Clavicular that loses, like, the sight of things, like, you can be attractive, but if you're just a little bitch about everything, like, just to put it bluntly, you're not really gonna get far. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that one quote by Bob Marley, but instead of money, it's looks, where it's like a man, he was so poor, all he had was money. You know what I mean? Or like a man so poor, all he had was money, right? And that's kind of what this is like a man so poor, all he had was looks. You gotta have like, don't get me wrong, looks are important, sure, but it's not everything. I'd actually say, like, well over 50% of it is, like, your personality and being, like, a fun person to be around and being, like, captivating and, like, charismatic and cool, you know what I mean? And funny. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, of course, take care of yourself, dress nice, hygiene, all that shit. Take care of your appearance, that's fine, but, also balance it with, like, genuinely being a, cool person to talk to, because that's what's really going to get you the highest return on investment with women, all right? Because as we all know, women are good investments, all right? Very good investments.
Best ROI you can have is being funny and having a personality.
Exactly.
It's true. That is actually true.
Yes, exactly.
Now, my lovely chuds, I think here's a good place to wrap up this segment for the night, but I do want to ask you all, not for the night, but for now, but I want to ask you all to leave a like on this video if you haven't already. If you're watching this in the future, it really does help a lot in the algorithm, and we've got to claw ourselves out of algorithmic hell right now. The algorithm is very much kind of rigged against progressive content, so drop a like, drop a comment, and don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell icon to turn on all notifications if you want to see more from me in the future. Be sure to also follow my social medias linked down below, especially my fan Discord if you want to be a part of the main hub of my community, where not only do I host soon, I will be bringing them back, weekly events, now that I've finished moving, but I also have a channel in there where you can recommend topics or videos for me to cover or respond to. So make sure you use the stream suggestions channel if you haven't been and you want to tell me what you want me to cover, because I'll cover recommendations from you guys. And of course, finally, If you want to support the channel directly, financially, you can always donate, subscribe, or gift a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or support me on YouTube in the same way. I appreciate it immensely. And of course, if you want to check out Rinse, do you want to go ahead and give your plug?
Yeah, just search me up on YouTube, Rinse. I don't really post videos these days, but I do post on my community tab every now and then, so yeah, you know where to find me. You know where to find me.
RYNSE. Rinse. That's where you can find him. All right, folks.
We should change it to RYNSE.
True.
We should do that.
Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a good one.